Welcome to At Your Pace Online's class on ethics for insurance producers. I'm Aaron Phelps. When you first got your license, you were made somewhat aware of the concept of ethics. Although your pre-licensing class didn't explore these concepts in detail, you studied legalities surrounding advertising, producer responsibilities, regulations, fair trade practices, and others. This particular course will concentrate on ethics in a number of ways. We'll discuss the public's view on insurance companies and producers. It's not surprising the consumers trust individual producers more than the companies they represent. That's a meaningful statement about the position you hold in the eyes of your clients. Most people consider the terms ethics and morals to be synonymous, but they're not. The terms go hand in hand, but there are subtle differences. Ethics tend to be somewhat subjective in practice and method, so we'll give you examples to illustrate how something may be legal, but not necessarily moral or ethical. The course will take a deep look at the different approaches producers can take when faced with an ethical dilemma and the best practices to solve the issue. The course a producer may take when faced with an ethical issue will often depend on the issue itself. Not all ethical concerns have the same solutions. Much of a person's ethics are based on their life experiences, and we'll consider this with a look at ethics in practice. It's important to consider a variety of tricky ethical situations and be able to identify potential solutions. Dilemmas can vary from a client asking you to do something unethical, but not necessarily illegal, to flat out illegal. You'll learn that certain activities must be reported to the insurance division of your state and the possible outcomes. What about ethical issues from the insurance company side? Unfair trade and claims practices are an important part of an insurer's ethical and legal requirements, and states will come down hard on insurance companies who don't follow the laws and rules. The loss of an insurer's certificate of authority is one possible ramification, as well as fines and loss of credibility. The unfortunate reality is that when one producer or insurance company is sanctioned, it has the tendency to reflect badly on the entire insurance industry, especially if the penalty is large enough to make the evening news or social media platforms. Once trust and confidence is broken, it's notoriously difficult to rebuild. Your agency is also high on the list of ethical priorities, and agencies that do not carefully and thoughtfully consider the ethical implications and potential problems of their producers are ripe for a liability lawsuit. We'll discuss the ethics equivalent of an employee handbook, a company's code of ethics. We'll study the information and materials that should be included within this important handbook. Several pieces of legislation will be examined, and you'll see that the Fair Credit Reporting Act and the Unfair Trade Practices Act mandate that insurance professionals follow specific credit and trade practices or face potential penalties. It's unfortunate that we have to rely on such rules and regulations, but having a system of accountability is an integral part of the success of the industry and all its agents. There are laws governing ethical conduct in every state, and we'll take a look at recent and amended laws and how they affect ethics with regard to protection of confidential information. We'll also introduce terms you need to be familiar with and the legal framework regarding ethics in the workplace with your clients and with your insurers. From there, we'll move into a discussion of how ethics applies to your business and life and to society as a whole.